Hello, and welcome to the webinar on the new Generate Special Payment tool that's part of the Valeo release 3.19.2.1. Um, we are proud to announce that we've added functionality to Child Tracks where you can do mass special payment creation on the system. To get to the tool, you have to go to the accounting homepage. That accounting homepage can be found under the billing menu, clicking on accounting home. When you get there, you'll see a new bar on the left side called Generate Special Payments. So if you click on that, then it's going to open in a new tab, the tool, the screen for the tool that generates special payments. Now, there's many different ways you can do this. So most of the time of this webinar is going to be spent on the filter page, showing you how to use the filters. And then once we get through that, then we'll go to where you set up the actual payments. And then after you set up the actual payments and invoicing, then you can switch to the screen that will show you all the stuff that matched your filters. And then from there, you can actually generate the special payments. So to get started, let's read these notes right at the top. Some very important notes: to ensure proper general ledger assignments for these special payments, it can only be ran by a single branch at a time. So if you look at the branch filter, there's no state or all options on this filter. I'm going to go ahead and set that to date. Um, because the general ledger accounts are defined at a branch level, uh, you have to run this at a single branch at a time. This tool also will not include respite only placements. You know, a kid comes to your agency, they're placed somewhere else, and they're only with you for 2 or 3 or 4 days. You know, they're respite only placements. They're not included in this tool. And then this filter over here, the payment provided for, there's actually 3 options on that. And these are the 3 options, and this is a brief description of what each option will do. So let's look at those real fast. The client payments. This tool can be used to create special payments for clients that are placed from an agency or agencies. Okay. Uh, Homes with placement payments. This tool will create one special payment per home for any homes that have clients from the agency or agencies you select. For example, if the Smith home has 4 clients from Butler County, this tool will only create one payment to the home. Another example, if the Smith home has 4 clients, 2 from Butler County and 2 from Claremont County, and you selected those 2 counties in the agency selection filter, then this tool will create 2 special payments for this home, one for the Butler County clients and one for the Claremont County clients. So this tool will only generate one payment to the home based on the county that have kids in that home. The last tool is homes that have no placements, and this is homes currently that do not have placements. So as of today, as of when you're running this tool, these homes do not have any placements, so you can create special payments for them too. Okay, now the filters are really divided into 3 sections. The first section right here really is like how you're going to use the tool overall, and we'll step through those here in a second. The next section, this will be about if it's kids. You're going to use these filters if it's about kids, all right? If it's based on kids, clients, not kids, but clients being placed in your program. Okay, the third section is about the homes, okay? Um, and then the fourth section is about the actual payers. So we're going to step through each one of these sections thoroughly so you get a good feel for how this is being used. Okay, the first filter in that first section, again, this is how the tool is being used overall. The first filter is a branch filter. So you pick the branch you want to run it for, then you pick the program. Now if you leave it at foster care, then you have 3 options over here. If you switch to residential, now you don't have any other options other than client. Same way with service, you only have an option of client. Okay, so let me go back to foster care. So the second filter in this first section is the program you run this for. The third filter is, again, these 3 things. How do you want to run it? Now, depending on what you pick here, could change what sections of other filters you have. For instance, if I do homes with no placements, then the filters for placements and the filters for agencies go away. All right. Now, if I switch this back to homes with placements, then those filters are brought back. Same way, if I switch it back to client, then those filters will show up also. So this filter controls what you see over here. This one can control what sections of filters you get below. All right, so the first example I'm going to give you, we just want to create special payments for any kid that was age 5 to 21 as of, and we'll say December 31st. And they had to have been placed in the month of December. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to actually explain these filters a little more to you before we step on. Okay, the first filter about clients and placement is an age filter. Okay, now if you're going to use the age filter, then you have to have values in all three fields. Okay, they must be there. So again, for this example, I'm looking for any clients that was placed in December that was age 5 to 21 as of December 31st. Okay. Now, and let's go ahead and read this note with this filter. Use this to only include clients in this age range on the specified date. Leave this filter blank for all clients regardless of age. For the age filter, all three values must be used. Okay, so you can't leave the first one blank and put 21 there, or put 5 there and leave that one blank. You have to have values in all three fields. Now the next filter for placements is when. All right, so when the clients were placed. So use this to only include clients and placements between and including the specified dates. What that is telling you, so it's going to look for any kid that was in care from December 1st to December 31st, including the 1st and the 31st. Okay. Now, you can leave this filter blank and it will only do it for current placements. So if you want to do it for your current placements, don't put any date ranges in there, and that's going to only look at current placements. Now, if you wanted to do a single day, like December 15th, then you would put December 15th here, put December 15th there, and it'll find all the clients that was in care on December 15th. Okay. Now, before we look at these next two sections of filters, let's go ahead and step through. So now, if you're doing placements, any type of placement stuff, then you must select agencies. Okay. Now, there's 3 ways, or actually 4 ways you can look at agencies. So you can do it by the type, you can do it by the state, or name includes, or if you just click this button, it's going to show every agency set up in your system. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and look at these other filters. So we're going to say we want to do all agencies that are DCBS. Okay. So then if you set this filter up that way, then you're only going to return the ones where the type of that, when you set up a payer, an agency, there's a type field, and you're going to tell it what type of agency this is. So it's only going to return those agencies where that type field is DCBS. Now if you change this to is not and show agencies, now you're getting all the other ones. These are all the types that could be possibly defined in your system. Right, so if you said it is not DCBS, then these agencies, the type field either CSB, DCS, or juvenile justice. Okay, now if you don't want to use that filter anymore, just put that up there and clear it. Okay, now here's the second filter. If you want to find all the agencies in Ohio, then do is Ohio show agencies, and it's going to return all the agencies that are in Ohio. And again, the opposite is true too. If you set is not, now these agencies are either in Indiana, Kentucky, or Virginia. Okay, so that's the second way you can filter it. And then the third way, obviously, is you can type something in here, and if the agency name has those values exactly how you type it, they will be returned here also. Okay, so you can actually do searching based on agency names. And then again, if you leave all these filters blank, then if you hit show agencies, you get them all. Now let's go ahead, and I'm going to click all these so that we get plenty of results. All right, so I'm pretending again. Here's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to create a special payment for all kids that was care in December that was age 5 to 21 as of December 31st from any of these payers. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit the next button. Then I'm gonna put in the recipient amount. The recipient amount would be the home. We didn't call it home amount because eventually you're gonna be able to use this tool to create payments for clients for a lot of different other things other than just what currently you can do in child tracks. So you're going to put in the amount going to the home. Now the agency payment amount. This is what the counties are paying you. The payers, the agencies are paying you. Okay, your agency. Then you're going to put in a payment date, and I'm just going to put February 1st. You're going to give it a brief description. I mean, you would actually give it a true description. Now, these values here are from when we first built Child Tracks. If none of these values match what you're actually trying to do, just use other. This value is not the important one. This is the important one right here. So make sure what you're trying to do. In this example, we're going to say this was a holiday reimbursement. Okay, so typically, the way I have this system set up, uh, that would go under a placement expense. So I'm going to go ahead and change the description. Again, I pick placement expense. Now, if the counties are paying you, if your payers are paying you for this, then you leave this value set at agency billing value. So that whatever payers associated with that client will be the one that's paying this for that client. Now, if this is something you're just giving out of your own agency's funds, then set this. This would be your agency's name here. So just select your agency name. It's not going to go on an invoice to any of the counties. It's not. You're not getting reimbursed for this special payment. Now, if you're doing this and you're not really invoicing, then obviously you should set that to 0. Okay, because you're not invoicing for it. So, but for this example, we're going to leave it say that the counties are actually reimbursing you 90 and 50 of it's going to the home. Okay, now if we go ahead, the previous button will take you back to the filter screen. The next button is going to show you all the possible payments. So the system went out and found every client that was in care that matched your filter criteria, and it's creating payments, and it's also creating the invoice records. So for this first client, Jane Doe, you're making a payment to Adam Braverman Foster Home. They're getting $50, but you're also invoicing $90 to this payer. Okay, and so if you notice that the save checkbox is all checked, so you should look down through here. Spend as much time as you want trying to verify this. This is a link to the home, so you can actually go to the home if you need to see something about a kid. From the home page, you just go people involved, and here's the kids. You can get to the kid real easy from that home page. Okay. Then down at the bottom, it's going to tell you the total possible payments. You have not generated the records yet. Now, we recommend, highly recommend, that before you click this button and create those payments, save this spreadsheet. Okay. So click on that CSV file. As soon as it opens up, give it a second here. Before you do anything else, just come right up here to File, go Save As, right? Find the spot where you want to save it. I'm going to save this to My Documents. I'm going to change the type away from CSV, and I'm going to just save it as an Excel workbook, okay? And then you can give it whatever name you want. You want to name these in a way that's meaningful to you. So just go ahead and save it off immediately. Then once you get it saved, if you want to go ahead and look at it, go ahead and look at it, but do not close it yet. Right? So as soon as you get it saved and you're done looking at it, just minimize it. Right, now we're ready to go out and create the payments. So I'm going to go ahead and say generate payments. All right, and you get a little warning screen. Are you sure you want to do this? You're going to say yep, I do. It's going to open a new tab, and it's going to say the special payments have been generated. Now here's another CSV file. please open this up. Definitely save this one. All right. Do not lose this file, because if you made a mistake and you need our support team to clear this up for you, it's easy if you just send them this Excel spreadsheet for them to know exactly what to remove from the system if you need them to remove those special payments. All right. So once that file opens up, you'll get a little message like that. Depends how your PC is set up. That's not a child tracks thing. That's something with your PC. Right, but go ahead, open that up, resize it, and pull up that other one that you first did. All right, the possible payment one. Put those side by side. All right, and then you can actually go through and make sure that what the system thought it was going to do, which would be the possible payment side, that the system actually did what it thought it would do. So if you quick easy check, come down the bottom, it says there was 34 records created. Right, go back to your possible payment spreadsheet, make sure it says 34. If they don't match, then something happened during that creation process, and you're gonna have to get a hold of our support team to help you work through that. Uh, you shouldn't run into problems if your data is good and clean. If you're using all those data cleaning tools on ChildTracks, you should not run into a problem with this. But anyhow, so you have two spreadsheets. One is the possible payments. The other is the actual payments that was created. Again, you should save this. I would personally, I would save both. All right. I would want both of those. Let me get this back to my documents. Now, there we go. I absolutely would save both of those. Again, it's just for your own record keeping, but if there is a problem, then you have the data that was actually created from the system when you did it. So let me go ahead and get back to the system now. So once you're done, you can just close that. All right. Now, if you're a multi-branch state or agency, you can easily go run this for the same criteria. Easily, just hit previous, previous, pick your next branch, right, and just walk back forward with the next, next, right, generate payments, and you just did it for the next branch. And again, these ledger accounts are defined at a branch level. So if Canton has a different GL account number, don't worry, the system knows you're doing Canton now, not Dayton. That's why we can. That's why we built it to where you only do one branch at a time. We couldn't get the system to be able to go across multiple branches and assign those geo accounts accurately. So that's why we do one branch at a time. Okay, so that's for the payment provided for client. Right now, that is all the same whether you're doing foster care, residential, or services. This whole functionality I just showed you works the same way. Okay, the only difference is if you're doing residential, those home values disappear. Same way if you're doing the services, those home values disappear. But if you go back to foster care, then those home values are here. Now, before we go on to the next two options here, I do want to explain these home values real quick in light of what we just did. So you want to do this, but you don't want to give any of the homes that are closed that reimbursement. Okay, so if that was the case, then you could come in here and just set these filters like that. Leave the close unchecked, run the total again. So if those kids that were in care in December, if any of those homes closed since then they wouldn't include they would not be getting the payments. So you can use these home filters in conjunction with that. Okay. Now let's go ahead and look at the second option here. Again, these are homes with placements. Uh, so we're going to do 5 to 21 year olds. Same thing in the month of December. We're going to do all agencies, but what you'll see, Let me go ahead and hit next and look at possible payments. So now, if you read the, let me go back and read this to you real fast, and then we'll come right back to here so you can see it. So this says the tool will create one special payment per home for any homes that have clients from an agency or agencies you select. Okay, so it's one payment per payer. So let's go back to the possible payments. So the very first home on this list is Adam Braverman, and oops, he has two payments here, right? And this is the way it should work, because the first payment is being paid by the payer of Brad County Case Management. The second payment is Zeph's County Case Management. Now, if the kids that was from Zeph's were actually from Brad's county and not Zeph's, then you would still only, in that case, you would only see one payment. There could be three kids from Brad's county here, case management, but he's still only going to get one payment. So if you look, this list is going to change. Tom and Tina Brown are on here twice, but again, the payer's different. They're on the third time because there's a third payer involved with them. So it's one payment per payer, and then everything else that I already showed you. Before you click this button, capture the data on this screen, then generate your payments, and then on that confirmation screen, well, we'll go ahead and do it. Here's the confirmation screen that they were generated. Capture that CSV. Okay, so let's go back to previous. Go back to the filters. Okay, so that's the main difference between this one and this one. They pretty much do the same thing, except this one creates only one special payment per payer. This one will create one special payment per client. So if a home has 4 clients from Brad's County Case Management, there's 4 payments with the client option. If with the homes with placement option, it's going to be one payment for those kids from Brad's County Case Management. Okay, and then the last one is homes with no placement. It's pretty straightforward. When you pick that, the only options you have are this. All right. Now, if you run this tool, right, and you don't select anything here, and let's say you're going to do it based on current license states. All right. Because you didn't select any statuses here, the system's going to go out and find all homes where the current license date is between this date range, and it will not be looking at these statuses. So it will want to pay closed homes, whatever you set up on this next screen. Okay. Now in this particular case, you're not billing this to an agency. All right. So that amount should be 0. Right. Same way with residential and services. When you're doing residential or services, no matter what you're doing, this should be 0 because you're not paying homes. Okay. So let's go ahead. We'll change this to say holiday cheer. I'll leave that payment type as other, and we'll say this was home license reimbursement. And your agency is the one paying that. You can't even pick an agency there. Hit next, and then here's all the homes that match your criteria. All right. Then again, you can hit generate payments, so on and so forth. So now the payment date was 2/1. Let me go ahead previous. So that is the tool. All right, it's a very nice tool. Spent a lot of time testing it. It was a very hard tool to test, especially when we started looking at this section here. Because it just it's a very tedious tool to test, but it's working well. Now, if you come to the accounting home page, I have it open already. We have the special payment edit. So if we come in here and we search for all payments that were generated, or where the payment date is between these dates, and I'm just going to put 2/1 on each side, show special payments. There's all those payments that we created with that tool. All right. Now, if you made a mistake and you don't want to get a hold of our support, you can go find them with this tool, and you can actually step down through here. You'd have to check this box on all of them. Come down to the bottom, hit update special payments, and any of them that you check this box, it would go out and delete those payments. Then you could rerun the tool correctly to put the payments in correctly. So, okay, that concludes this webinar. Thank you.